So after collecting a rather respectable amount of overdrive pedals, I realised I don't really use overdrive pedals like an overdrive pedal. Generally speaking, I'm using an overdrive pedal more like a clean boost, whereby I set the level to 10 and I set the drive to almost 0, and I use it just to slam the front end of my amp a little bit more to get a little bit more attack and a little bit kind of more out of it, if that makes sense. So that made me interested in boost pedals. So one of the first pedals I tried out was a TC Electronic Spark Booster. This has a really good reputation. A lot of people online seem to love this pedal, and a lot of people advertise it as a bit of an always on pedal, as in you set it up and you have it on for pretty much the whole thing. To try to get the most out of my Spark Booster experience, I bought the full-size version, which has 2 bands of EQ, well really just a high pass and a low pass, and 3 different gain stages. So that would make it seem like a fairly versatile pedal, and I'll give it credit for that, it is, but it's also a bit of a weird pedal. For me, it falls somewhere between an overdrive and a clean boost. When you add some drive to this pedal, it really does start to dirty things up a fair bit. And not just from the amp being pushed into overdrive, I feel like there's actually a bit of dirt involved in the drive circuit for this pedal. You do have some versatility, as I said, with the high pass and low pass filter. But overall, I hate to admit it, but I kind of hated this pedal. So yeah, whenever I had this pedal on, I noticed there was this real punchy, I'll give it that, but this real sort of unpleasant upper mid spike. When I say upper mids, I'm referring to like about 1500 Hertz, which, okay, yeah, it's not the upper mids, but you know, the upper area of where you would call your mids, if that makes sense. You know what I mean. This is a really weird analogy. I'm going to acknowledge that to start off with, but it's the only way I can explain it. It's kind of like you were drinking ice cold water out of a straw, but like you're biting down on the straw to like get a lot of water pressure, so you just like have this burst of cold. That's kind of what playing this pedal was like, this burst of punchy cold on all of my tones. And I'll give it some credit, like there is versatility in the pedal, but no matter what, there was that weirdness in the upper mids that I just couldn't get rid of. I appreciate the filters, the bass and treble filters, but I do kind of wish this also had a mid filter somewhere. A lot of people love this pedal. A lot of people sort of say that their tone isn't complete unless they're running one of these things. So, I mean, if you heard my samples and you're like, hell yeah, that's my sound, then yeah, by all means, go grab a Spark Booster. You'll absolutely love it. But I have to admit, this was not a pedal that was for me. So, onwards and upwards, I guess.